Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, I got another cast here for you. My name is Tibbs, and if you haven't seen any of my recent videos, what I like to do is I like to cast some up-and-comers, maybe some semi-pros, some amateurs, people that otherwise wouldn't get noticed, and I think they deserve to get noticed, especially in the StarCraft scene. So, without further ado, here we go. In the lower left, we've got infinitySeven's bbqplox, and this is going to be a practice match between him and the blue Terran in the upper right, who is infinitySeven's SurusSenDoh, urusSenDoh. And bbqplox is a friend of mine's little brother. He's a really cool guy. He's a nice guy. I got to go to BlizzCon with him, and he's sarcastically overcritical at times, but never mean. Just a fun guy to be around. And anyways, he's a semi-pro. He's on the team infinitySeven. If you don't know about them, they recently had a player join the GSL, got into Code A, crazy moving. He was a Zerg, mostly noted for his Mutalisk play. But anyways, we got these two. We're going to be duking it out on Cloud Kingdom. New map to the ladder pool, started in the GSL, created by some dude I don't remember, but he's a really good map creator, part of a team, and they got their maps on the GSL and on the Blizzard ladder, so good for them. Now, to start ourselves off, we got nothing out of the ordinary, just some standard play, no 90-watt probe rushes or anything. Just your standard barracks after supply depot. Looks like no gas yet. We're already up to 14, so that's kind of a late gas. Looks like bbqplox on the other side is just going to get his standard gas at 15 or 14, looks like. And yeah, not much to talk about. We got bbqplox running in here, scouting some stuff. He sees the barracks going down, and he sees the gas, so he knows it's not going to be anything too crazy. And just doing a little harassment, trying to get on that SCV, because that probe is like, man, SCV, you're so fine, I don't want to. Anyways, he's standard play, nothing notable. Got the cybernetics going down, 2 pylons reinforcing that power grid. Doesn't want anything unpowered for no reason. We got the Marine coming out, whacking this probe because he doesn't want him to see what's going on. We got some nice runarounds happening, seeing if he can get out of here. Ooh, juked out. And this is a fun map. I like to see a lot of mobility on this map. The third is somewhat easily taken, but it has 2 back entrances as well as the front 2, the natural. So a lot of the time we see mobile builds on this map, a lot of bio. But some people have been known to play some mech, not usually in TVP, but and some of that deathball, destroy you with my max army that can't be touched kind of play. So we'll see what these guys choose to do. Looks like bbqplox has already dropped down his Nexus, going for a more macro style play off of 1 gate. So it's a little risky, but luckily for him, it looks like urusSenDoh is doing the same thing, so it's going to be kind of passive for here to start. And it'll be interesting to what they go into. It looks like urusSenDoh has already got some Marauders out of his 1 Barrett's expand. Not very common for a TVP opening. Usually when you have that 1 gate expand, it's either a Reaper expand or just straight Marines into a bunker for defense. But it looks like he wants to put on a little pressure. And I don't think, it looks like just now, bbqplox, well, he did spot the tech lab, so he knew something was up, but now he knows that it's Marauders and not Reapers. And so he moves back, warps out another Stalker, it looks like, getting his 2 extra gates, got his sentry, so he should be able to defend this fairly well. It's only 2 Marauders, but they do have concussive shells, so that's one reason why he didn't try to pick them out in the middle of the map and back them up by time, because he would have just lost the Stalker. So good moves, good defensive moves, and immediately backs up. I like that. You know, he's forced an extra Stalker instead of a sentry, and even another Stalker, so he's put bbqplox into that defensive posture, wasn't able to get out sentries as early, so he's not going to have as much energy on him when he does get them. And in the meantime, he's just taking his forward position at the Xel'Naga, but look at this, bbqplox sneaking a proxy pylon over by his base, and it has not been spotted yet by SenDoh. Hasn't even had any glimpse of anything over there, so that could definitely come in handy if bbqplox decides to put on a little pressure. So we see now he goes up, sees the Xel'Naga, decides to peek forward a little bit, and it looks like SenDoh catches this stalker off guard. He's probably going to lose. No, doesn't lose that stalker. Very nice. Nice micro, pulling back quick enough. And with this many stalkers and that sentry, is going to push him back. And it looks like as he's fighting on the, now that proxy's coming into play, as he's fighting up the rocks, so he's trying to fight up the ramp and flanks with these zealots, and he's going to be able to push back SenDoh all the way to his base. Now with these SCVs out and the buffer, it looks like he's losing a few SCVs actually. Looks like bbqplox is going to have to back up with that amount of bio, but unfortunately this mule didn't get to really do anything that he's supposed to. Stop trying to attack mule, you don't have an attack icon. But anyways, with this reinforced position, bbqplox is going to be able to put on a lot of pressure uncontested and be free to kind of macro up back home while he's doing it. So we see stopping, trying to hit before these bunkers are done, good move. And after that pressure, doesn't think he's going to be able to do any more, decides to play it safe and backs up. Now after that happens, SenDoh is going to kill this forward pylon now that he's noticed his mistake, and we're going to go back into a defensive posture, sort of a passive game, and let each of these guys macro up a little bit. So bbqplox has seen the amount of bio he has, so he can suspect this heavy barracks play, and that's going to make him comfortable. That's going to make him either tech up or maybe get probably not a quick third because the threat of a counterattack, but as you can see, he's already got his robo going, getting his forge down, some additional gateways, immediately gets an observer to start scouting, but he's going to feel safe. He's done some damage, he's killed some SCVs, and he knows that the tech of the Terran is going to be behind. So it looks like we do have, on the Terran side, he's taken 2 more refineries. He's been on 1 gas this whole time, so definitely some slower tech, finally getting his factory done. And there's not going to be really a lot of threat of higher tier units for a long time from the Terran. bbqplox in the meantime going straight for the Twilight Council before a robotics base, so wants to get that blink or possibly some Templar out because of that heavy bio play before getting the Colossus, because maybe them being teammates and all, maybe the Colossus is a more intuitive move and kind of wants to throw him off guard. Not really sure there, but in the meantime he's sending his observer in, so he's going to be able to see exactly what's going on, and immediately gets that speed, that zealot charge. So good move, especially against the marauder play and that early concussive shells, so able to close the distance with those marauders. In the meantime, he's just pumping out a ton of marines still, adding some more tech labs, so he could be going for a heavier marauder play. Can be effective, but honestly, it'll be good against the storms if that's what bbqplox chooses to go for. But against this robo play, it looks like he's getting a lot of immortals because he sees after seeing those tech labs, and I like that. You know, he's not going to be able to close the distances against Colossus, which he wouldn't have been able to with this amount of sentries anyways. But you know, choices are choices. It all works out. He's got these immortals coming. Those are going to be doing really well against this push with these with this heavy marauder, but he does have a lot of marines in there still, and that's when the zealot legs are going to come into play, especially with all those force fields. He's going to be able to kind of cap him and then close the distance with the zealots. So we've got Protoss weapons +1 coming. Speed's going to be done long before he gets here, and it looks like the +1 for the 2 of them with chrono boosts will line up possibly in the Protoss favor, but that depends on how many chrono boosts he wants to put. So no upgrade advantages, and ooh, I like this. We've already got the Ghost Academy coming down for SenDoh. So after coming forward, poking a little bit, decides to back up. Doesn't really want to engage this yet. You know, at least not until that +1's done, and just trying to scare bbqplox, maybe prevent him from getting that third as early. But bbqplox is just macroing up big time, just kind of pumping a lot into zealots. Got a heavy sentry count already, and that's really going to be able to that's going to let him control the engagements exactly how he wants to. So it looks like now he's going to go ahead and plop down that third, feeling comfortable with that stalker count, knowing he's going to be able to defend that, especially with the +1 finishing. And he already had his armor +1 done, so now he's going for 2. I didn't notice that before, but that's a huge deal. That's definitely a good reason for SenDoh to be backing up there if he noticed on one of those Protoss units that he already had a +1 armor. Because those +1 speed zealots are just huge in this bio versus gateway engagement. So in the meantime, just cranking out a lot more bio. Still only medevacs, but he hasn't seen any sign of Colossus, so no reason to pump out Vikings just yet. Got the Mobius reactor finishing up for the Ghosts, so he's going to be able to plop out Ghosts ready for EMPs right off the bat. And yeah, pretty passive game. It looks like SenDoh's got the third up already before bbqplox, so even as a Protoss, I know I'm a Zerg player, so I feel this way, but even as a Protoss, I feel you gotta be ahead of your Terran counterpart on expansions, just because those mules are so good. In the meantime, we do see 60 to 58 workers, so yeah, those mules are definitely working in SenDoh's favor. So Terran definitely has an economic lead, and that makes sense with his bio play. He's doing lower tech, which should allow him the freedom with his mobility and earlier upgrades to be able to get that economic advantage. So a very passive game between these two, showing a lot of respect for each other. Just want to play that macro game. And it looks like he misses the observer passing by. Oh, maybe did you see it right there? Is that why he's going back? Oh no, he's got a turret right here to spot it. Doesn't quite get it though, and that sucks. So he knows that there's an observer out here. He's going to be able to scout him coming out, and that makes him decide to pull back momentarily, possibly trying to snipe it, but now he's going to move out again, and the observer is in pursuit. Let's see if he tries to scan to pick it off. It looks like no, it's not going to happen this time, so he's just posturing up, and I really like this observer placement, especially on this map by bbqplox. It's close enough to the Xel'Nagas to where you know they're going to be pathing by, and it's definitely in that path that SenDoh is going to have to take to get to his base. So just really good positioning there. He's going to be very on point as to what's going on. We did see a scan there to try to check for army, but at the moment, ooh, it looks like we had a drop go down, but bbqplox's army was chilling right there, so it didn't really work out too well. And we do see Colossus production has commenced. He's got his first Colossus out, and that's definitely that's a good call against this ghost heavy bio play by SenDoh. So it looks like the scan goes down, sees the repositioning, decides not to go up that ramp, which wouldn't be a good idea. You definitely, whoever's army ends up on the ramp usually has a much worse time because of the concave favoring whoever's off the ramp. So each person posturing, don't want to get caught on that ramp. Nice EMP though, gets a lot of the sentries. It looks like a few of them still have a lot of energy, but decides to back off anyways after seeing that second Colossus come out. Good choice. Doesn't want to engage that without any Vikings, without the ability to kind of dance that back and forth. And in the meantime, oh, look at this. We've got a command center started up here and down here, so it looks like he's going for the double proxy hidden bases to try to get his economy going. And in the meantime, we've got 2 max armies and just a ton of bank building up. So both of them kind of getting ready for an engagement sooner or later, just kind of posturing around the map, looking for the prime position to do some damage. Looks like bbqplox getting ready to go ahead and get his 4th started, and SenDoh's posturing up to hit that immediately. It looks like he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, but bbqplox trying to capture the army from behind, going for the sandwich. Doesn't get the cancel off on that Nexus, that's a bummer, but with his current bank, it doesn't seem to affect him too much. And looks like bbqplox overextended with those stalkers momentarily, but now has the better position at the top of the ramp with his Colossus. Should be sniping those Vikings, but it looks like there's so few of them, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Concentrating that firepower on the ground army instead, and is able to clean up, but with a fairly even trade, not very far ahead after all said and done. Does keep all his Colossus alive, so that's very good. Not losing his tech units, only losing his gateway units in the process. But does lose his does lose a lot of sentries and all those immortals, except for how many? What do we got here? We got 2 immortals left over. So, like I say, he did keep those Colossus alive, so it's going to force SenDoh to make a lot more Vikings before he feels comfortable pulling out. But at the same time, bbqplox is just now putting up his 4th, and we've got both of these expansions landing and already being mined by SenDoh. So a little bit of an edge on the economy to SenDoh. Looks like bbqplox has got a little bit of the supply advantage, but right now bbqplox already on 3-3, so definitely heading the 2-1, soon to be 3-2 of SenDoh's bio. And I think that played a lot into that last engagement, because it did look like for a little bit there that SenDoh had the better positional advantage, but I guess those upgrades were just a little too much for him to handle. So now we see he's adding some Archons into the mix to help soak up damage, do some of that extra splash damage, and popping down this proxy to try to deny the 4th if he decides to take it. And bbqplox has got to be wondering why SenDoh hasn't taken his 4th. I mean, he could take this position, but it is a little bit exposed to these ramps, so you would assume that this would be the next 4th from SenDoh, and it's just not happening. So bbqplox has to wonder what's going on with his expansions. He needs to be suspicious of something going on. And so it doesn't look like he's scanning out too much, just kind of posturing up, rebuilding his max, setting up his 4th, staying kind of passive. And looks like he's moving up now, getting that better position, spreading his army. Always a good thing to do before going down a ramp. Immediately snipes the sensor tower and goes straight for the 3rd. And I don't know about this. He's just marching right up a ramp without really knowing what's going on. And oh, look at those EMPs, just decimating the shields on those Archons. The sentries getting destroyed, and I really don't like this engagement by bbqplox. He's just getting a little too trigger happy, and as you can see now, he has dwindled the Viking numbers, so his Colossus should be able to do some hurt, but he needs to get out of here. It looks like they're going to be able to close the distance and take out all those Colossus. That is not a good position for bbqplox to be in. You can see the supply differential definitely favoring our Terran player now after that engagement. So we see in the production tab he's going very heavy into the Templar play, making a lot more Archons, but he still hasn't scouted these 2 bases, and that's ugly. He's just giving this advantage continually to the Terran player when it comes to the economy, and it really shows in in his bank as well as his supply. Terran's got a lot of gas banked up, but without the mineral income, can't really use it on too much. Needs to be getting these bases a little better saturated. It looks like he's just now sending some SCVs here. Gonna go ahead and take this Selnaga back. Doesn't want his SCV buddy spotting everything he's doing. But with this Marine here, SenDoh also knows that he hasn't taken his 5th yet, so he knows that he's up 1 base at the moment. And finally we get an observer here to scout this base. So hopefully, and we got 2 zealots to come up here, check out what's going on. Looks like they're just gonna run around, and no, they're just gonna go back and die. That's cool. And it looks like finally SenDoh's posturing up to take his normal 4th as he sees his proxy bases have been spotted, and smartly bbqplox sends some down to the other base to see what's going on there. But it looks like we got some armies posturing up in the middle, trying to get into a better engagement. Looks like bbqplox heavily favoring those Archons over any Colossus, hoping that SenDoh has made a bunch of Vikings that'll be useless in the fight, but he's only got 2, so he didn't really take the bait. Looks like he's going to go up to take out this planetary fortress, and does do so. So that's going to take 1 mining base off of SenDoh, our Terran player. Looks like he's going to immediately rebuild it. bbqplox opting to reposition his army in a more favorable position instead of going for those extra SCV kills, which I think is smart in this situation. You know, he exposed his 4th for a moment and didn't want to lose it, so repostured instead of going for extra damage. The safer route, safety's good. And it looks like he's pushing in here, a little unsuspected by SenDoh, so it looks like he's going to be able to do some good damage. These Immortals just being worth their weight in gold against this super heavy Marauder army. Look at that. There's only 9 Marines and almost 30 Marauders, so I think it's only like 25 now. So being able to just rip through that army, no problem with this Immortal Heavy Archon damage soaking composition. So good move by bbqplox there, retaking the supply lead in the meantime. But now he's got to do something about this base down in the bottom, and it looks like that's exactly where he's going. He wants to go down there and just eliminate that extra mining base and put them back on even footing. So in the meantime, SenDoh has gotten his normal 4th up, and that's good because he's about to lose his proxy mining base. And ooh, it looks like the repair was off for a second there when it remaxed and held, so not able to hold it up long enough to save it. Does lose an immortal here to the drop, but that's okay. bbqplox is feeling really good now. He's got his 4th up, but he needs to expand soon because it looks like his main's mined out, his natural's mined out, so he's really only on 2 bases right now, which is once again even footing with the Terran. And with the Terran retaking this base, bbqplox definitely wants to expand soon. There's no way around it, but at the same time, he is feeling comfortable. His army is definitely superior at the moment, as we can see in the supply tabs, with the worker count actually favoring the Terran. So that just tells you how much bigger bbqplox's army supply is. And he's just going for this like heavily defensive damage soaking composition that we don't really see that often. It doesn't look like he has 4 High Templars, so that's where his splash damage is coming from. But he's just like Marauder and Archon heavy like no other. Finally restarting Colossus production, so that's going to help him with splash damage as well. But he's going to be able to soak up a ton of damage. And once again, with this Marauder heavy army, especially with the lack of medevacs, it looks like we've only got 4 medevacs out and 5 ghosts and no Vikings. So the Terran player is definitely at a disadvantage here when it comes to the rock paper scissors game. The composition easily favoring bbqplox, but positioning is going to play a huge role in this engagement. And we got these. Ooh, is he going to get the storms off? Beautiful. Does EMP those, but not before getting some crucial storms off. And with only 4 medevacs, they do have full energy, but only being able to heal 4 units at a time. It's going to take a while for that bio to heal back up. So we do have this just this dancing game of posturing armies versus armies. bbqplox does not want to make a mistake because he knows that right now with his max army and his bank, it's his mistake to make, it's his game to lose. So he wants to come in here and make sure that get those Archons in front, soaking up the damage, the Colossus nice and spread behind it, but with only 1 Viking out, I mean, these Colossus are just going to clean up. It looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. I do like the ghost cloaking, it's kind of cute, but you know, it's just not really doing enough for him. Ghost standard DPS is not enough to take out this army, and we can see with the supply dipping, I think that's going to be the end of it. bbqplox finally takes it with just a massively superior composition and improper countering by the Terran player. So expect GG any moment. There it is. And great game, nice long macro game, very passive at times, very delicate, very respectful between the 2 players, but a lot of that does come with the fact that they are teammates. They do practice together a lot, so look out for infinitySeven. Like I said, they did have a player in Code A a few seasons ago, hasn't resurfaced since, but would definitely like to see more of infinitySeven in the pro scene and more of bbqplox in the pro scene. So GG's, thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, I am Tibbs. If you like the music, this is Soup from their debut album, The Great Awakening. It has been nominated for a few LA Music Awards in its time, and definitely a great band, so check them out if you get some time at souptheband.com. And I'll be continuing to throw up some amateur casts of semi-pros while listening to local artists, because I am all about the independent scene. Because it shouldn't be the independent scene, it should just be an extension of the pro scene. But anyways, good game. See y'all later.